Ready for that first pitch, and there through the lineups you heard the Velvet Fog, the voice of Bill Leach on public address here for Anoka, doing a wonderful job for all the athletics, and especially here at Castle Field. Joe Ruhland along with Sam Plohas, and we got to start going here. A lefty getting it going for the Tornadoes, and that is Carson Nedlund. He's got a brother. Had an okay year last year for Anoka as a pitcher. In fact, he's pitching this year at River Falls, but should be a good setup. We've got head coach set across, and of course Shannon Blancett, success with Anoka, and Pete Anderson with the Huskies. What do you think we can expect from the Huskies offensively?
Yeah, so Nedlund's not going to be a guy that exactly overpowers the Husky hitters, but what he is going to do is he's going to mix speeds, he's going to throw strikes, and he's going to try and let you get yourself out and hope his defense has his back behind him. So watch for Nedlund to pitch backwards a little bit today, and some weird pitches and weird counts.
We'll get a look, and of course we'll check and see on that fielding side, of course, for Anoka. That's a key piece offensively. I know they enjoy kind of putting those bunts down and making you move defensively as well, and getting it started for the Huskies is going to be Drew Law. Of course, he's got some success in his family genes. His brother's up at North Dakota State playing up there, but my understanding he had a bit of an injury.
Yeah, I heard his elbow, it sounds like, up at North Dakota State, but Noak's got to be ready here on the first pitch, because Drew, he's not, he can be a patient hitter and he'll take his walks, but he'll also be ready to attack.
Andover is the catcher, number 27, Drew Law.
Drew's a good athlete overall too. He's not your normal catcher. Very fast, and sometimes Andover won't courtesy run for him just because he's such a good base runner and so fast on the base paths.
Law having a good start, 3 for 6 on the season, hitting .500. Looks at that first pitch. It's called a strike, outside part of the plate for Law. Also 1 run scored this season. We'll get last year's numbers as well, as the Huskies come in at 1-1. Last year they were 14-9. Had a disappointing end to their season last year. A quarterfinal loss in the sections to Centennial, 4-3. And see if they can get it to steer it up. Started the season with the 5-0 win versus Elk River, the 2-1 delivery. This one's lifted foul. I'll reset with 1 and 2.
Once again, we thank fans for retrieving foul balls.
Is it that fastball you think you'll see Nedlund kind of sneak it inside or jam up, lock him up?
Doing a really good job of living on the corners right now, living on the edges and not throwing over the meat of the plate, which is how he's going to win today. And there you go. So outside corner there, and got a lot of chase a little bit and started his day with the strikeout.
That's it. Law goes down swinging for a strikeout and loads up that fastball. Looked like he walked it up top and up the ladder. And first strikeout, first pitch of the game goes that route, and setting up now for Andover. Number 2 hitter is Danny Scheller.
Yeah, Scheller's going Division I. He's only a junior, but going to Edwardsville. And great addition to this Husky program. He wasn't with the Huskies last year. He's actually with Coon Rapids, and he's been a great addition so far. Really locked down that center field spot and middle of the order, top of the order type of guy.
Delivery here misses off the plate. 2-0 ahead in the count now is Scheller. And you mentioned Scheller can cover a lot of territory out in center field. We'll get a look at that here at Castle this afternoon. 2-2 and a 2-0 delivery rather, fouled straight back. As looks like the first couple of hitters still kind of trying to adjust. As you mentioned, it's a off-speed type of pitcher.
Yeah, Nedlund's doing a great job right now, not giving them anything to hit.
Good pitch, good delivery that time, and 2-2 evens the count. Huskies with a tough loss yesterday. This one's lifted back to Totino Grace. Had a chance to exchange some info with head coach Pete Anderson. It sounded like they had some troubles on the base path late in the game.
Yeah, they were only down 1 in the 7th, and they had first 2 guys on, no outs, and weren't capable of getting them in. But you know that today's a new day for the Huskies lineup and on the bases, so we'll see if they can attune for their woes on the base paths.
Scheller comes in 3 for 4 on the season, has the team's only triple thus far. This game 3 for the Huskies. Draws the walk.
He's got a lot of those this year too, and this Huskies lineup's pretty athletic, so it's not one you're pleased with walking
Batting
because
third
they can
to
take
second
second pretty
baseman number
quickly.
22, Wyatt Myers.
Does. That's his 4th walk of the season, leads the team in that category. As they step up here with Wyatt Myers. Of course, the Myers brothers not at all adverse to swinging the bat.
No, his older brother Logan's a pretty good hitter too. Wyatt had a really good junior year last year, tons of doubles, so he's looking to continue that success into his senior year, going down to Iowa Central to play ball next fall.
Myers digs in after that first pitch, missed inside. Stolen bases, and Drew Law leads the team with 2 early on.
We'll see how aggressive Andover is with a lefty on the mound, and if they go first movement, if they go, and if they're comfortable taking second base or third base on a steal. Scheller has the speed too.
Of course, catching behind the dish is Logan Jager for the Tornadoes. First base is Bauer. We'll get a look at those as well. Second base, Cam Jensen. Jensen playing and leaning a little bit towards second place. The second base, that is. Few throws over. The nice leisure of a lefty on the mound. Try to keep you tight in the throw. And the delivery, this one lifted foul by Myers.
Yeah, Anoka baseball overall has always done a pretty good job at holding runners on. There's no such thing as, too few throwovers for them. They'll go 3-4 pickoffs in a row until they feel like you're not comfortable over there. Even if it's at second base, they love a back pick too.
This one's left up top, outside part of the plate, and fouled down the right field line by Myers. He'll reset. But now 1-2 in the count. I'd asked Shannon Blansett, what are a few words? Give me about 3-4 words to describe your team this year. He said super athletic and young.
Yeah, that's kind of today's baseball players. They're getting more and more athletic, faster, stronger.
Lives to play another pitch, does Myers.
Yep, this is a good at-bat from Myers, and it shows how good Nedlin is. He's not giving him anything to hit. And that's what you're supposed to do as a pitcher up in the count. But even when he's even or down, he's still not going to give in and let you get your pitch to hit. Wyatt trying to foul enough pitches off so he does make a mistake.
As you can see, a beautiful day. Flag and the wind pretty much non-existent out in center field compared to yesterday. Had some jet streams flying through along with some rain. Ready for this delivery and still keeping an eye. First at Scheller.
With how much Nedlin's working Myers outside.
There's a ball laced, could be the gap, running to left field now, covering it down to the knee, making the play. A nice track on the ball by Hunter Brenner. For out number 2, he had to cover some distance. And when you've seen, it's one of the things the coaching staff said, just their second time yesterday out here at Castle Field, and it's so different seeing fly balls out here in the outdoors versus in the gym.
Yep, and we got an afternoon game today, but night games are always tough here because of where the sun's angled. Usually for that third baseman, shortstop, left fielder, that sun's right in their eyes, but it's 4:30 start here, so it shouldn't be a problem until maybe later tonight. We'll see.
Lincoln Reeder, meanwhile, in center field, and in right field, Luke DeShane. Rounding out the fielding is Conan. At third base, Mason Conan, a throwback. Recipient of that is Bauer, Chase Bauer. And then at shortstop is Jake Nedved. Delivery home. Misses off the plate.
I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Anderson here gives Scheller the green light. He might not go just because he might not be comfortable with the lefty, and Nedlin's doing a great job of holding Scheller on, but he might give him the green light if he is comfortable over there.
Brett Bittner is stepping in for Andover, 2-0 the count, and fouls this one off. Of course, Sam, I still think you're the leading hitter. I think they had the most hits at Andover High School.
Well,
has that been snapped? Did
no,
Kyle Law get that?
Kyle Law did get that a few years ago.
He's gone.
Yep. First movement and
he's safe.
Yep,
good job.
Speed kills there, and that's what I was talking about with the athleticism that both these programs have. Is just because you make a mistake, your athleticism can make up for some of that.
He put his head down, did Shelley, and just continued his way on the course instead of stopping, maybe thinking about getting caught in a rundown. I like that. You got to kind of sail. It's all in. If you're on that pickoff from that first baseman, swung on and missed. A ball way outside to Bittner. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Twos are wild here. First inning, no score, top half. On second base is Scheller. Just picked up another stolen base. The reason why you like him, the way he can draw walks, find his way on base.
Yep, a walk turns into a double for him.
Second stolen base of the season for Shelley. As I mentioned, Danny Scheller, third, the lone triple of the season. As for Bittner, when he's pitching, he's typically not hitting. But right now, he's the only one on the team hitting 1,000. He's 1 for 1. Ground ball, finds some eyes. Good play defensively. No, it gets underneath. Rounding third, Scheller will score a base knock and an early RBI for Bittner and the Huskies.
That's why that Scheller stolen base was so important, because a hit scores him automatically with his speed at second. Great try by the second baseman there, but yeah, Scheller's speed gets brought in by Bittner's 2-strike hit.
Batting fifth, the shortstop.
And you know what?
Keaton Coe.
Good pitch. He didn't give up.
Yep, did his job, got his ground ball, but
absolutely induced that ground ball, but caught the barrel of the bat there with that ground ball as well. Stepping in now is Keaton Coe, shortstop. Coe follows that first one back. Of course, Coe, also a name that resonates around baseball.
Only a junior, but he's been playing since he was a freshman, so he's not a young buck exactly.
Hit here, that's driving into center field, a base hit. Continuing a 2-out pressure and some runs coming across here for the Huskies.
Batting sixth, the first baseman, number 7, Jameson Kuznia.
Kuznia now steps in. So a good 2-out explosion, a chance now for another RBI for the Huskies if Kuznia can capitalize. Waiting for that Kentucky bluegrass that's here to fall into place and get that greenish tint back into it. First and second, 2 outs.
Good pitch from Nedlin there. Living low, living on the corners.
Kuznia here, getting a look. Up top, misses. Kuznia comes in hitting .667, some high numbers early in the season. He's 4 for 6. Includes a double, a couple of walks.
And he's hitting 6. That shows you how deep this Andover lineup really is.
Absolutely, absolutely. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that misses outside. So trying to find a lot of pitches being tossed here in this first inning. I didn't bring my pitch counter. It's usually on my mental hard drive anyway, but it didn't start up here today. Swung on the miss, throw back down to first. No, back in time.
Yep,
Here's Coe.
Anoka's not afraid to back pick you at any base. They are very aggressive defensively like that.
A good hard toss, explosive throw. And a delivery back in. Living the play. Another pitch. Here's Kuznia. Jamison Kuznia. 1 RBI this season. 1 strikeout and a stolen base as well to go with his offensive portfolio early on this season.
It's a big pitch here, making sure you're still throwing strikes. You don't want it to go 3-2.
Still nibbling at that corner.
You go 3-2 and then you give the runners a head start. A hit almost automatically scores them. So keep throwing strikes if you're Nedlin here, and you know, hopefully the hitter's going to make a mistake once before you do.
Looking in, and now the throw down in the dirt. Sometimes if you're trying to be too perfect, it takes a little bit of that snap off of the pitches and the spin.
Yep, 3-2 here, 2 outs. Bittner and Coe will get a head start on the base paths. And if Kuznia can get a hit, that'll bring in at least 1.
Thanks for joining us on the stream going your way from Castle Field. This one's lifted foul.
They should have gotten a head start there. Might have been a little bit of miscommunication.
Got that engine just off.
Coach Anderson's making sure Bittner now knows.
Anoka 2-1 in this early season. They picked up a win, 4-3 last night versus Robbinsdale Armstrong. Another lace up the middle, rounding third and about to score. No, they'll hold him at third. Bittner. So 3 consecutive hits. Bases are juiced, and Bittner is held at third base.
Batting 7th, the third baseman, number 21, Jackson Knudsen.
Fouled off a bunch of tough pitches, took a lot of balls, and then laced one up the middle.
Scheller scored earlier, and we're going to get a visit to the bullpen. 1-0 lead remains here. This the battle on Bunker Boulevard. As they have a discussion, certainly nothing defensively that on. As I mentioned, the last 4 games between these two teams over the last 4 years, it's been Anoka who's picked up the win. They've stacked 4 wins in a row. Last season, 2-1. In 2023, it was 4-3. And then in 2022, it was a 10-5 win for Anoka. And then in 2021, a 4-2 win for Anoka. The Huskies last defeated Anoka. That was in 2019 in the postseason section. That was a 7-3 win they picked up against Anoka at Forest Lake.
Yep, and runs, that shows you runs are important with how close some of these games are. So if Nedlin can get out of this with only giving up 1, you know, that's a pretty big win and uplifting for this Anoka squad. Andover looking to put up a crooked number. Big at bat here from Knudsen.
Jackson Knudsen playing third base. At bat with the bases juiced. Another off speed up high. I don't see anyone warming up in the bullpen. We may have to bet an over-under on the pitches. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs. Top half of the first, a 1-0 lead for Andover, and there's a strike. Little spinner that came across late on that break. Jackson Knudsen, 3 for 6 so far this season. Couple of RBIs, chance for a couple more here. This one's laced to left field. I think it's down the line and in the gap. It is. It chalks the line. 1 run is in. 2nd run, Coe comes in. A beautiful, well-placed double for Knudsen. Wow.
I had the lefty hook there where it just kept fading away and away and away from the left fielder, Bruner, and that brings in a couple for the Huskies. That's a big at-bat from Knudsen there.
Huge at-bat, 2 more RBIs.
The left fielder, number 11, Hunter Beskey.
Now Beskey steps in. Runners at 2nd and 3rd. 3-0 lead now for Andover. With 2 outs here, top half of the first, a breaking pitch. That goes up high. Some movement on the flag now in center field. Looks like it's picked up just a little bit. There's a pop fly to the infield. Corralled and making the play at short. That is Nedved, and the Huskies are retired in the first, but not before pushing across 3 runs in this first inning. Well manufactured here, and it's a way that it's always good to jump out early if you're at Castle Field and playing the Anoka squad.
Yeah, a lot more fun and a lot easier to play with a lead. So we'll see Nisler here for the Huskies. He pitched in their first game, and he actually topped 90 miles per hour in that bullpen outing.
Impressive. What else does he like to throw? Is it a slider or a changeup, or?
Yeah, a little bit of both. And he's a guy. Just because he throws hard doesn't mean he's a thrower. He's going to pitch you, and he's not wild. He's pretty good about not walking guys. So it's important too, after Andover gives him a couple runs, to go up, and he really wants to put up a shutout for them in this bottom half of the first, because you want to get your boys back in the dugout. And for Anoka, just because you give up 3 runs, that doesn't mean you can't score 3. And your job as hitters now is to start inching away and getting 1, 2, and scrapping back into this game, and turn it into a little bit of a slugfest if that's what it's going to be.
Drew Law catching. Meanwhile, it is Danny Scheller. In center field. Myers at second base. DH is Bittner. Followed by Coe at shortstop. Kuznia at first. Knutson at third. Besky in left field. And Wallin in right field. Meanwhile, the batting lineup for the Tornadoes will consist of Jake Nedved leading off, followed by Hunter Brunner. Hitting third, Logan Jager. And then hitting fourth to clean up is Jace Bauer, followed by Lincoln Reeder, Luke DeShane, Cam Jensen, Luke Falstrom, and Mason Conan.
Leading off for the Anoka Tornadoes in the bottom of the first inning, the shortstop, number 10, Jake Nedved.
Nedved digs in here, first hitter of this game for Anoka, and that pitch misses off the plate. Looks ahead and gets the sign and misses off the corner, so ahead in the count early here is Nedved. Nedved comes in hitting .222. A triple on the season. And just 1 strikeout. The 2-1 delivery here is down the middle, called a strike. Little different seeing the game from up on this view, Sam?
Yeah, always different.
See that movement, or you see a little bit more in terms of coverage, where people are moving field-wise, or maybe some of those gaps. Probably get a chance to look at that front foot of the hitter, too.
Right, you view the game differently, a lot differently up here, and you pick up on a lot more things that everyone else is doing. When you're down there, you're usually focused on yourself so much.
Swung on and missed. He chased an off-speed pitch, and it cost him. So 1 down in this first inning as Nedved goes down swinging. Setting up Hunter Brunner.
Number 17, Hunter Brunner.
Brunner is a senior, but he was a leading hitter last season for the Tornadoes.
Yeah, Anoka's got a lot of returners this year from young contributors from last year that they are going to have to rely on. Even Anoka's not afraid to have sophomores be starters on varsity, so that's a way that they build their program, and it pays off when they get older.
Trying to find a way the left-handed hitting. Brunner looks at this pitch, a fastball just off the plate. You look here at 1 ball, 1 strike, and a 3-run lead early here for the Huskies. Picked up 4 hits, 3 runs, a stolen base as well in their top half of the first. Now the 1-2 delivery. Checks the swing.
Try to get a chase with the fastball up there after throwing a slider in, and we'll see where he goes here. He could go fastball up again, or they could try and bury a slider.
Off speed here, left it to center field. Tracking it, moving it, and has that catch out there is Scheller. So two down quickly here in the bottom of the first.
13, Logan Jager.
Logan Jager sets it.
All right, get out of here, Huskies.
Trying to counter as they look here. Jager comes in 3 for 8 on the season. Gets the pitch he likes. Drives this to left field. Moving back. Has the look. Besky makes the catch. And that's a 1-2-3 inning. As the Tornadoes are retired, it's like going to Wisconsin. You get in, you get out. 1, 2, 3.
Exactly what Coach Anderson and the Huskies needed was, after giving the team a 3-spot in the first inning, go up and throw up a 0. Nedlin here going to try and work on that too as well.
As we get them set, and you got to wonder, hey, does it dictate how much longer you stay with Nedlin here as the first part of this second inning?
Yeah, it really depends probably on an eye test for Coach Blanchett and what their bullpen looks like today too, with the game yesterday and games next week. It's early in the season and you don't want to push anyone too far pitches, and their arms are still getting ramped up, and even though it's beautiful for us, it's still not that beautiful weather for elbows and shoulders. So we'll see if Nedlin settles in here. I think he will. If not, we could see the bullpen start to stir.
Well, yesterday the win for Anoka over Robbinsdale Armstrong. Chase Bauer picked up the win. He went 5 innings, surrendered 2 runs. Looks like none of those were earned. 8 strikeouts and a pitch count of 94 yesterday. 9 hits also for Bauer is what he surrendered. Impressive outing. Meanwhile, Lincoln Reeder went 2 innings, gave up 2 hits and no earned runs, and threw for 29 pitches. So a big win, 4-3 for Anoka over Robbinsdale Armstrong, which moved their mark to 2-1. Anoka started the season with a tough loss to a very challenging and a very, very good Totino Grace team. They lost 5-2.
Yeah, both these teams only lost the season coming against Totino Grace.
Ethan Wallin.
Well, Wallin steps in for Andover here, top half of the second. In the second, he takes that pitch. Inside, do you would think you'd like to bring a fastball occasionally inside on the corner and allowing that hitter to lock up, or creating the lockup, but he swats this one to left field. Diving catch, a web gem in left field. Extending to make the play and getting the out. Nice play in left field.
Yeah, ball was hit off the end of the bat a little bit, so it didn't have much steam on it. It died a little bit, but he got a great jump and laid out, making a great catch and getting that first out of the inning, which is always a big one.
Wallin flies out, and now we flip to the top half here in the second with Law. Law went down swinging his first at bat. Plays him straight away as a pitcher. It's probably nice to get that first out, number 9 hitter. But
yeah, you don't want the 9 hitter to get on for the top, so that is a big, big out for Nedlin.
Some mental momentum for a pitcher anyway when you're trying to get into that cadence and the flow, but as a hitter, you're always trying to kind of take command of that at bat each time up. Swung on and missed. Looked like he might have been fooled a bit on that pitch.
And that's the benefit of Nedlin being able to throw any pitch for a strike, is it doesn't make you comfortable as a hitter, and you're not able to sit on one pitch in any count.
Boy, that's a good look, good spot. Nedlund misses on that pitch. It was Anoka last season who went 9-16. Their season came to an end with a 2-0 loss to Forest Lake in the section championship last season. As for Anoka, they kind of got things working late in the season, just at the right time, and that momentum took them to the section championship. Had some excellent pitching last year as well. Parker Nedlund, the older brother of Nedlund here, towing the rubber. As I mentioned, at Wisconsin River Falls, pitching there this season. Swung on and missed. No, just enough.
Just foul, got enough to stay alive there for Law. He's a really good hitter too, so you don't want to give him too many pitches. You want to try and get him out quick. And Anoka's doing a really good job right now. Their alignment is straight up because he has power to all parts of the field, and he's not afraid to go to right, center, or left.
Delivery here extends in front and foul off the foot. Yes. You'll get another look at the pitch.
Well, home plate umpire called foul ball, and the first base ump called out.
As they have a discussion. And they'll have that discussion. Where's that Jeopardy music that you so often hear? But hey, it's Casey. Hey, you get Drew Law out 2 consecutive at bats. That says something about that pitching. And it's not always that you have to bring a lot of velo to be successful on that mound.
No, sometimes the really good hitters really struggle with the guys that mix up pitches, and it looks like they called Law out. Nope, foul ball. And the catching coach, Coach Gowerluck, who is a former coach at Andover, doesn't look too happy along with the other coaches in the Anoka dugout there.
I think I see Pete Hayes over there as well. So the reset foul ball. The count stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes. As we get back here, we'll play 1 out, top half of the second. And this ball is lifted to the outfield. They're tracking it, moving it back in right field. It's corralled and gloved for out at number 2. That is DeShane making that play in right field.
The center fielder, Danny Scheller.
2 down now, and Scheller will step up. Scheller
really ignited the last inning for the Huskies, getting on base, stealing second, and scoring from second on a hit. Nedlund trying to go 1, 2, 3. It'd be a big pickup for the Tornadoes.
Misses just off the plate, and Nedlund does a great job of kind of nibbling at those corners, moving the ball in and out. Different locations. That one's right down the middle, up top, and missing on that swing is Scheller. I'm sure he'd like to see that pitch again. To mention Scheller on the season, 3 for 4.
And Nedlund does just a phenomenal job of making you impatient at the plate and swinging at pitches that you don't want to hit and getting yourself out. And it's been on full display this second inning here.
Hey, he throws effortlessly. Good technique. Here's the throw, the pitch into dirt. Evens the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. If you were hitting right now, what's the pitch you'd be looking for?
Well, with 2 strikes, I'd be sitting fastball and falling off any breaking ball he tries to throw. So reacting to the fastball and trying to shoot that to the opposite field, and if he throws a breaking ball, either fouling it off or pulling it and, putting the pressure on the defense and giving a hard 90 down the line.
Delivery here.
Got him on the corner.
Got it on the corner. Wow, nice pitch. They get another look here at that called third strike, catches the inside part of the plate, and the punch out.
And that's partly because Nedlin's been doing such a good job nibbling outside that he came inside, and I think it caught Scheller by surprise there.
Did Huskies retired at the top half of the second. And now Anoka went down in order. We'll get a chance to see their 4, 5, and 6 hitters. As Scheller goes down on the backwards K, Huskies go down quietly in the bottom of the second. So hitting-wise, meaning from an offensive standpoint, and the win last night for Anoka over Robbinsdale Armstrong had a lot of contributors, and that includes some from Nick O'Mara as one of those, but a couple of runs created and some RBIs brought in here by Cam Jensen as well, contributing along with Tatkin Horse.
Anoka does a really good job, too, of creating offense. They will steal bases. They go first to third really well. They will bunt for hits. They'll double suey. They have a full bag of tricks kind of up their sleeves. And
leading off for
sure
Anoka in the bottom of the second inning, the first baseman, Chase Bauer.
Bauer now steps in. Bauer hitting at about a 600 clip right now, looking at the number 4 hitter to try to get some juice going here in the bottom of the second. Checks his swing. No, he doesn't. Nice pitch. Some good spin.
It's got him on the slider right now, and we'll see if Nisler and Law go up with a fastball here. That's what I would call.
Just off the mark there. It's 1 ball. 2 strike continues here from Castlefield. It's great to see the sun, as it's been a mystery early on in the spring. Tried to check, did not, punched out. Another strikeout victim here goes the way.
Playing fifth, the center fielder, number 21, Lincoln Reeder.
And you're starting to see that effectiveness here from Nisler. Lincoln Reeder.
His brother, we mentioned Drew Law's brother Kyle up at North Dakota State. Reeder's brother here is at Illinois in Champaign for the Illini playing ball.
And I think I saw Haugen for Kansas pick up home run number 14.
15. He got a 15th too.
Just saw that was it last night or night before.
Yeah, he's having a phenomenal year for the Jayhawks.
Of course, he's played in that Northwoods Leagues the last couple of summers, or tried to get back some time here with the Anoka Bucks in town team. And boy, right now Nisler has them guessing.
Yeah, he's doing a good job of mixing his pitches, but making, they're competitive pitches too. They're not easy layoffs for Anoka.
High cheese swung on and missed. Boy, he walked the ladder on that pitch and brought some velocity, some good velo on that fastball.
Right fielder number 9, Luke Deshane.
Deshane steps in. See what he can do to get something going, and the first base runner for Anoka. A ground ball. The Ko comes in, makes the play off the bag, but there's Kuzniak to collect the throw and tag that third out. Another 1-2-3 inning for the Tornadoes. Bottom of the second as we head here to the third. You can see the replay there on the play by Ko. So good with that glove. Excellent hockey player as well. But Ko makes the play, and such a spark with that glove.
Yeah, talking to Coach Hoppy and Coach Feigum, they said they got 3 shortstops in this infield. And that shows you how good they are with the glove and how good they are athletically. So Cole, Knudsen, and Myers, all really good defensive infielders.
Hey, we welcome all the viewers out there. Great to have you with us. Joe Ruhland along with Sam Plohas. Here from Castle Field, Bill Leach on the PA. Great to have him with us as well. And great to also, after I spent some time in the rain yesterday, Anoka girls, a winner in softball in 10 innings, pulls out a 10-9 win. Jones, the second baseman for the Anoka softball team, went yard twice. She tried to stretch a triple, and I kind of thought she was in for the inside the park. Would have been 3 home runs in that one game. Of course, Frecking went yard, and she scored the game-winning run. She'll be playing softball next year. Frecking will be at St. Thomas University. So here we go to the third. Anoka's going to continue their way, and Nedlin had an impressive outing last, retiring Andover in order.
Like Drew Law, Wyatt Myers can also go to all parts of the field. Lots of power to right field, which you don't see a lot from a right-handed hitter. Nedlin doing a good job. He's really settled in, though, since that shaky first. He's been attacking more, it looks like, and getting more swings and misses.
Evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, I, for one, enjoy watching a pitcher such as Nedlin, who can move it inside and out. And what's a baseball game if you don't call a left-handed pitcher crafty?
Yeah, he does such a good job of mixing his pitches. And it's up, down, all around. You know, he's never living in one spot. His heat map would probably be a very fun thing to look at.
This is a drive by Myers to the gap. This is going to be down. It's to the fence. Myers rounds first on his way to second. He's going to keep going for 3. There's no turning it down. He's going to slide head first. He's in and he has that triple. Wow. Some juice brought that time by Myers. He kept the hands on top of the ball, and well, he drove that to the gap. A long run.
Yeah, with no outs, that was a risk. Going for the triple there instead of just being content with the double, but you saw Myers' speed and athleticism get him in a head-first slide into third. And we'll see if Anoka brings infield in here. Early in the game, but down 3-0. They decide to play back, and it might have cost them a run, but no.
Look at that. Bittner puts it in placement perfectly. And he gets his way on the first base, and a lack of coverage that time. Looks like we get another visit from the Tornadoes leadership here, and with 2 outs and nobody, 2 on, nobody out here in the third inning. First and third.
Might be going over first and third situation, what to do here, and just calming Nedlin and this young Tornadoes team down a little bit. I know for a fact that Coach Blansett wasn't too happy with nobody covering first base there, and he takes a lot of pride in the fundamentals of baseball. So
very much, and it's be Keaton Coe coming up next for Andover, and Coe certainly capable of driving that ball, as we've seen as well. But umpire comes out, breaks up the meeting. I don't mean to sound paranoid, but I think they're talking about me. So I'm glad that the umpire broke it up. We don't need to hear that about me on the mound. And they're set to go here as we get it set, and marks down that second visit to the mound. Nedlin, as you get a look. Gets set here now, and the play is set.
Shortstop Keaton Coe.
Look and see if we'll get short cutting. I've always liked it when short can cut, or maybe second and early, just a little bit better momentum on that cut. Grip and rip that time by Coe. Misses on a fastball upstairs.
Yeah, every coach is different and every team's different. Kind of depends on who your shortstop second base combination is and how strong of an arm they have. We'll see if Bittner goes. He's not a high stolen base guy. But the first and third situation kind of evens the playing field because Anoka does not want to probably throw through and forfeit the run with Myers at third.
The delivery here. Lifted up and back by Coe. Coe reached on that base knock in that first inning. Coe now 2 for 9 on the season. There's a drive up the middle line. One hopper into center field. And an RBI for Coe, and Andover extends their lead to 4-0. Well struck, he was waiting for that, left that pitch up.
Yeah, not a spot you want
first
to pitch
baseman,
there,
Jameson
especially to a good
Kusnia.
hitter like Coe, and he made him pay with a line drive up the middle. And there's nobody stirring in the bullpen for Anoka, it looks like, so this is Nedlin's inning, this is Nedlin's game, and he's going to need to work through it and kind of get back to the things he did in the second inning.
Bittner scores his second run of the game, and here's a grip and rip. 3-hopper to short, cross yard in time. Just a chance to get this.
Obviously,
Quickly
you want to get a
retired.
hit there if you're Kuznia, but you can go back to the dugout, get some high fives from your teammates because you moved 2 runners into scoring position. And not the at-bat you
baseman,
want,
Jackson
but it is a
Knudsen.
team at-bat and a selfless at-bat there for Kuznia.
Sit here, Knudsen. Knudsen with that double and 2 RBIs.
Anoka going infield in here, so now Knudsen's approach really changes. You go from, any ground ball should score to now you got to get the ball to the outfield, but a hard hit ball is a lot easier to get to the outfield.
Bottom of 3, tries to come inside on that. And you got to be thinking a little hook spinner coming on this pitch. What do you think?
Yeah, probably front shoulder. Start at the front shoulder and have it break down into the corner.
Came back up top. So runners at second and third, infield in for the Tornadoes.
Knudsen already with a hit to left field. Looks like Nedlin's trying to get him back inside here and see if he can pull the ball hard instead of, he already showed he could go to left.
Breaking pitch that misses up and out. Go to 3-0. Set great to look at this layout here at Castle Field. And there's a strike. Dead red down the middle. Wasn't his pitch. Or do you think Coach Anderson gave him the green light?
Up 4-0, he might have gotten the green light, but it still might not have been the pitch Knudsen was looking for. Never bad to take 3-0, but 3-1's a pretty good count to hit into.
You got the hitter's count, swung on, missed. Great pitch, good location. He was out in front of that off-speed pitch by Nedlin. Carson Nedlin, and working his third inning here with 1 out, runners at second and third, and now we're getting some movement by the Tornadoes in the bullpen. This one's laced foul into the netting.
Good battle here between Knudsen and Nedlin. Each making their pitches, each falling off, pitches, the tough ones, and deep count here for Knudsen to hit.
Infield in, drives it right back, glove save, and a beauty, flashing some leather on the rubber is Nedlin. Beautiful grab, that was a hard laser. You get a look at a replay here on that. Wow.
Reactionary
The
there
left
for
fielder,
Nedlin,
Hunter
but you'll
Besky.
take that out all day without a run scoring, and for Knudsen, you say that's baseball, and you hit the ball hard, and not much you can do there.
So 2 down. And that brings up Besky. Beskey hits this ball to center. Catches it up in the wind and corralled in center field for out number 3. They are retired here as center fielder Reeder read that ball well, so 2.5 down. Huskies are able to punch across one more run.
Nedlund did a great job working out of trouble there. That inning could have snowballed for him, and he bulldogged his way through that inning, and he's given his team a chance now. We'll see if they can get Nisler a little uncomfortable on the mound. He's been pretty set, pretty focused, and it's been his way the first 2 innings for him.
Set as they get everything underway with Nisler in his throwing. What do you think has been his improvement from last year to this year as a pitcher?
Well, it looks like he's gotten a little bit bigger, faster, stronger, throwing a little bit harder, but I've been impressed with the command on his off speed. He's throwing it where it looks like a strike out of the hand and it just breaks away from the bat. And that's how you get outs, especially in the Northwest Suburban Conference. It's a tough conference, and every day's a battle. There's no picnic, so he's done a really good job this season between his first game against Elk River and his first 2 innings here of getting swings and misses and working ahead in the count.
Leading off for
third inning, bottom half of the third. Still working through that lineup.
Number 3, Cam Jensen.
Cam Jensen, number 7 hitter. Jensen comes in hitting .286 on the season. Few left-handed hitters, and of course, I know you swing from the left side of the plate as well.
Yeah, I'd like to see these Anoka guys maybe call timeout with the umpire, Tyler Shue, get Nisler off his pace on the mound, and maybe show bunt. Try and get the count in your favor, and that makes hitting a lot easier. Draw the third baseman in, give yourself some more room on the left side. Anything that you can do to get something started. And a walk would be that. So he's sitting really nice here, 3-1, good hitters count. Got to be your pitch still.
Look across in this delivery is swung on and missed there. Pounded here, lifted to center, moving back, has it, and Scheller reels it in. And
good drive from Jensen there. Just Scheller, good athlete. Ball not carrying as well today as it would in July.
Batting 8th, the designated hitter, number 14, Luke Fulstrom.
That time getting a little bit better swing, and the number 8 hitter is Luke Fulstrom. Fulstrom comes in looking for that first hit of the season, 0 for 3. Another left-handed. They must be farming these left-handed hitters here in Anoka, just across Bunker Boulevard. Quickly ahead in the count, and you see Whistler extremely focused. Misses this one outside. You look at 1 ball, 2 strikes, and out ahead.
Back door there,
Yep.
not a bad pitch, and I wouldn't be surprised if Law and Nisler try and go fastball here.
And the 2-2 delivery is, again, just missing off the plate. And remind me of the years that you played at Andover.
Yeah, so I played in 2013, 2014, 2015. I got to play in this rivalry 5 different times.
Called third strike. I always enjoy when an umpire opens the fridge, grabs a beverage, and shuts the door on a punch out.
Let everyone know.
Batting 9th, the third baseman, number 2, Mason Conan.
2 outs, number 9 hitter. Nisler in a zone and throws that strike. It is. I was dating back and looking back at the start of Andover baseball back in 2002. The dates I actually came up with started like in 2006 with the rivalry between Anoka and some of those numbers. I still need to tabulate those up. This one is driven foul down that third base line here, bottom half of a third.
Yeah, my first ever game against Anoka in high school baseball was at the Metrodome. And it was an extra inning loss, but it was pretty cool to play at the Metrodome. And it was probably one of its final years still standing.
2013, it was a 7-5 win for Anoka, says here. Sam Plohas had 3 errors and struck out twice.
I don't think so.
But it looks like you've been able to get through that tough part of your life.
Yeah, no, I was only a defensive replacement at that time. It was only for 1 inning as second baseman Austin Strombeck came in to pitch in relief, and I took his place at second.
Well, Anoka retired in order. This is a fly out to foul territory, captured there at first by Kuznia, and Anoka goes down in order as we head to the fourth and a 4-0 lead, and we'll see if there's a pitching change coming the way here for Anoka as we begin this fourth. I think they're sticking with Ned Linda in that.
Yeah, we'll see if they try and get one more. I'm sure the pitcher in the bullpen is ready to go once he's going to be hot and ready to go once Nedlin's time's done. But see if you can get one more out of Nedlin and hand the ball over to the next guy.
And hey, just as we're getting a chance, making the plays in the field are Anoka, and such a critical element of to me that's one of the toughest things to hone and get sharp on in Minnesota baseball in the spring is that fielding.
Yeah, it absolutely is, because you're practicing a lot in the gym or on a football field in the turf. Now that these schools have turf, you're out on the practice field for football, but it's 40 degrees, and it's just not the same as fielding on the dirt and throwing to first across the diamond, and not the same bounces. And it is very, very difficult to practice the little things and cuts and bunt coverages and the little things like that.
Leading off for Andover at the top of the fourth inning, the right fielder, Ethan Wallin.
Wallin will lead it off after Besky made that third out in the bottom of the top half of the third. Wallin hits this to second, a roller. Good footwork over in time and makes the play. And down for the second consecutive time up there is Wallin. Now we flipped the lineup. Third time we've done that. The third plate appearance here for Drew Law, as we are in that top half of the fourth. Missing outside. It's sometimes you kind of see him almost like throwing away from him, trying to keep that thing.
Yeah, he has pitched
off the middle of the plate
really well today. He has not given Law much to hit at all.
Well, we'll get a base knock. This is down first base deep. We'll see if he stays there or rounds and tries to go to second. Hits the brakes. He's content. He'll stay at first. First hit of the game here for Drew Law.
He did a great job just not doing too much and going with the pitch and driving it to right field there.
Mentioned
simple.
Center fielder,
fourth hit of the season for Law, so he, with one out, jumps at first. And bringing it up now is Danny Scheller. Scheller playing center field. Pitch that's down and in and gets by the catcher. He's going to throw it. Good play. Explosive and getting Law with a dart. That was a missile. On the throw down by the catcher.
Yeah, I think Law thought it was going to roll away a little bit further, and it kind of just stuck right next to Jager's foot. Picked it up and threw a dart down to second.
That was on a line, absolutely right. So now quickly 2 outs for Andover here in the top half of the fourth. Scheller reached by a walk in that first inning, a stolen base, and scored the first run of the game. And in that second inning, got punched out on a called third strike. 2-1 to count to Scheller. Mentioned where he's going to school. He's got another year of high school, but committed there. Meanwhile, Winona State is where Drew Law will be headed, and that's always a great program there.
Yeah, Andover's got a lot of college commitments from their senior class here for next fall.
Swung on and missed on that swing. And my high school coach, when I played, committed me, but it wasn't to a university. It was, kind of painful. So apparently, Paul draws the walk. We had a good time with it, but yeah, it's commitments are going left and right. And what do you see the players need to do more this year? They certainly have tools in which they can be recognized.
Yeah, they're all very skillful, very good baseball players. I think the biggest thing that they can grow on is becoming just the smartest baseball player and having the highest baseball IQ they can, because that never stops. And watch any major league game, college game, and you can kind of see things and pick up on things that you didn't learn before, and just listening to coaches and picking apart anything you can to become a smarter baseball player. It goes a really long way.
You can certainly look at that. Hey, there's a mindset too, and there's a hard ground ball hit to short. That's bobbling that, getting it high in the air, and that'll be the first error. On a hard ground ball hit that time to Nedved, unable to come up with it cleanly. And that'll be Myers who reaches on an error.
The designated hitter, Brett Bittner.
So now, first and second for the Huskies here in the fourth.
Good pitch from Nedlund there on the outside corner. Backdoor and Bittner. We'll see if Bittner can find a pitch that he can drive and try and drive in at least one for the Huskies. And we'll see if Nedlund can finish his outing strong here.
Bittner 2 for 2.
There's the back pick that Anoka, they like that. They work on it. Their timing's always really good with the back pick. They will get a couple outs with that this year and save a run or two from back picking the guy at second and keeping him closer.
So lifted to center. Drawn back, continuing to move back. Now backpedaling and corralling. A third out of the inning. That's going to retire the Andover Huskies, and a nice play in center field by Lincoln Reeder. And now a chance to see here what the Tornadoes can do to get a little juice going.
Yeah, I'd like to see them. They got to find any way they can to get on base and disrupt Nistler here on the mound. If it's flashing a bunt the first pitch of the at-bat and trying to draw the left side in a little bit, messing with Nistler's mind a little bit by showing bunt, or whatever it takes to get him out of a rhythm, get him, he is zoned in right now. So you got to try and flip the script on him and do whatever you can to get on base and just keep the train moving for the Tornadoes.
Bottom of the fourth. Nistler continues to flow well. Hey, as players also, right, there's that code, kind of hustle in, hustle out. You don't want to disrupt the flow of how well the pitching's going as well for Nistler.
Yeah, you want to keep the umpires happy by hustling in, hustling out, and maybe get that call. And yeah, you want Nistler, when he's ready, you want to be ready. And especially on these cold days, you want to get out there, you want to get hustled, you want to get warmed up, and you're ready to go. And when you're up 4-0, it's a little bit more fun to hustle in, hustle out than when you're on the flip side. So this is a big inning for Anoka. We'll see if they can start scratching something out. They got the top of the order. Need to start getting base runners and putting some pressure on the Husky defense, and Nistler, get him in the stretch. You never know what happens when you get a pitcher in the stretch.
We are set here as I'm starting to look at the shadows here in Castle, and I know that once that sun starts to set in left field, that can be trouble tracking the ball. Still have probably a little while yet, but starting it off now, Jake Nedved Struck out his first at bat that came in, obviously, in that first inning. Here we are in the bottom of the fourth, and a called strike.
He's doing a great job living on that corner there, first pitch.
Absolutely, and you know, sometimes you can get them kind of leaning over and come back inside. This one's lifted to center. Scheller has the read on this one. Gloves it for the first out here in the top half of the fourth. Pitch count as well for Nisler. Say he's in a healthy spot right now.
Very healthy, yep. He's probably allowed to go as long as Coach Anderson, you know, lets him today with, and it's probably based off effectiveness, not pitch count, because he is in good shape. There's the bunt I wanted to see.
There you go, bunt out, coming out, and bam, good, wow. I like that, you gotta do that. He's in the groove, he's in the zone, right?
He probably wanted that a little bit closer to third and a little bit further away from Law, but that was a really good play by Law. Like I said earlier, he is not your normal catcher. He's a really good athlete.
Very nimble, very quick, explosive as well. Jaeger now steps in. His second at bat. But you know what? I would be looking at the same thing of getting the bunt, making that pitcher move, having him see something different up at that up plate, right?
Absolutely.
And a nice bunt attempt by Bruner. By the way, Bruner, as I mentioned, led Anoka in hitting last year with a .319 average. Delivery here and inside.
They got him.
And he got him, yep.
So with 2 outs here, we'll see Nisler in the stretch for the first time today. We'll see if Anoka can get something going here with 2 outs and a guy on.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, that's the way, to me, have him change some of those behaviors, those movements.
Nico Mera, courtesy runner for the catcher, Jaeger at first base, and at the
Coach
plate,
Blanstead also
baseman,
always has the fastest courtesy runners here. As you see a guy at first, he's always got somebody fast in his back pocket to get as a base runner. So you got cleanup hitter up, speedy guy on first, and we'll see if Anoka can turn this into a good inning for them.
Bauer, nice scoop. Hands of a surgeon back there. The plate there is a nice clean scoop by Law. With that runner on first. Right now, you look for anything that can trigger that momentum. A moment, a situation.
Wild pitch that can get him to second base, anything, yeah, anything that can get you, your dugout a little bit pumped up there and the fans into it a little bit. Need something here if you're Anoka.
Just off the plate, the challenge. And I know Paul Molitor used to say it a lot. It's just got to change that number. We got to change, obviously, that goose egg here if you're Anoka. Anything to change it. And with 2 outs here, pinch runner at first, swung on and fouls it straight back. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 1 runner on for the Tornadoes.
And this is where Nisler's been really tough today. Is 2 strikes. You have to respect the fastball inside, but his breaking balls outside have been really tough, and he's been getting the call in the outside corner. So
there's a lace just down the third base line, foul. And hey, looking any opportunity here to generate some offense. A look in here, trying to extend that lead over at first. And there's a base knock. There it goes. You stick and stack. And
yep, there's your first hit of the day for Anoka. And now they got something cooking with 2 outs.
Look at this, and here we go. Come up, reset. I like this discussion by Law.
That's a very veteran move. Get your infielders in there, get Nisler settled down a little bit. Hey, you got 2 outs, we're good. Go get your guy. And if you're a reader here, you just got to keep it simple. Don't try and do too much. You can't tie it up here. So just try and get a hit. Try and keep the train moving and pass the torch on to the next guy and keep it going.
And it pays off, to have a leader like Law as that catcher.
It's like having a coach on the field.
You always hate to use a manager visit to the mound when sometimes you're pitching so much so quickly. You just need to get out of that rhythm.
Yep.
Take a deep breath.
There's nothing mechanically you can tell Nistler right now. He's very sound right now. It's just settle him down, calm him down, give him a break. It's his first time in the stretch. He had to jump off for the bunt. So things have changed this inning, and now down 2-0. We'll see if Andover's bullpen starts getting warm, as they might be on the edge here with Nistler.
Anoka. Chance to stack a couple of hitters and a pitch away from loading the bases. Nistler, his pitching time so far this year has been versus Elk River. A nice outing and a 5-0 win for Andover. That was the first game of the year. And now the 3-1 delivery, hitters count. And here we go.
I imagine we'll see a mound visit here from Andover. And yep, there goes Coach Anderson. And we're going to see some action in the bullpen for Andover as well.
As we knock it in now, your father also part of that coaching staff at Andover.
Yeah, I've been around the program since, boy, I'd say as long as I can remember, first grade, second grade, and went to a lot of games at the old Castle Field, and then got to play here at the new Castle Field as it was like brand new. So yeah, I've been around the program a long time, and it's amazing to see how well it's been doing lately too, and very fun to see a couple state runs and hopefully more in the future for Andover.
As we sit here and get everything calibrated, because looks like they're set with the bases loaded. As we get set here, Coach Anderson.
The right fielder, Luke Deshane.
Comes up. Who do we see warming up in the bullpen here for Andover? Is that number 18? Bases juiced here. Wonderful opportunity. Good chance here for Luke Deshane, the right fielder. Swung on, hit down the line, knocked off. Saved. But a run scores. Knutson did everything he could as that ball on that one hopper he dove for hit just off the heel of his glove. He was able to keep it in the infield. That was a key, but that'll be a single infield hit.
Yeah, diving efforts there. It saved a run for Andover.
Cam Jensen.
And that was probably a discussion was, hey, it's worth a dive here. It saves a run for us, keeps 90 feet intact. But a huge run there for Anoka. Now all of a sudden that goose egg's gone. It feels like a different ball game.
4-1 now as Anoka making some noise, cutting into that 4-run deficit to 3, and with 2 outs and the bases juiced, a chance for them to cut even more into the deficit. Swung on, no, checked. You get a look at Cam Jensen. Cam Jensen last time out, a fly out to center. 1-1 delivery by Nistler. That's called a strike. Off speed. And that's a hit, so.
Battle mode if you're the hitter now, trying to just do anything you can to keep the train moving and put a ball in play.
The 1-2 pitch up and in. Was that a slider, do you think?
I think it was a fastball. He tried to go up with it and elevate and see if he could get a chase, and maybe setting up a slider here.
Typically, the color commentaries say, Joe, you're right. But what an eye for baseball. This one slapped, climbing the ladder, a web gem by Knutson. That ball was going to knock in an RBI and continue the way, but it was Knutson at third. You see on this replay, he climbs the ladder, elevates flashes the leather at the same time and makes a critical play at third, preventing Anoka from getting
at
down
least
to the
one.
2-run deficit. Guys, right? At least one. Well, Anoka, Cam Jensen there. Stymied.
And it looks like Anoka's going to have a new pitcher. The DH is going to go
Number
into the
14,
game.
Luke Fulstrom now in to pitch for the Tornadoes.
So from a lefty to a righty now, changes the approach for Andover.
Yeah, in the book on Carson Nedlin. Keep in mind, last year he had an ERA of 1.97. Impressive. And a whip of 1.12. Pitched 21 innings last year, so he's off. Good start here, but he threw 4 complete, 8 hits, and 4 runs surrendered. All of those were earned as we keep the book.
Did a really good job of keeping Anoka in the game, and that outing could have really snowballed for him, but he bulldogged his way through, and he gave Anoka a chance, and they got one back, and they're going to be looking for more, but he got to pass the ball on to the next guy, giving them a chance to still hang around in this game, and that's kind of what Anoka baseball does. Is they hang around, they're gritty, and they're never dead until the final out's made.
Get you set here as Luke Fulstrom on the mound, a senior. He's appeared in one game this year. That was a season opener against Totino Grace. Through 2 innings, gave up 1 hit. Struck out 3 against Totino, and speaks volume. That Totino Grace team, a solid squad this season.
They've already built up a resume.
Leading off for the Huskies in the top of the 5th inning, shortstop Keaton Coe.
So Coe now steps in, the left-handed hitter, shortstop in the 5th. Grips and rips and lifts this to short. Calling off the help is Nedved, and 1 pitch, and Coe is back to the bench here and retired here in the 5th inning.
The first baseman, Jamison Kuznia.
Kuznia steps out. Kuznia 1 for 2 on the afternoon, an RBI in that first inning, and then a ground out to short. Off speed. Down that line, it's foul. Hope you're enjoying the stream as we have a chance to bring it to you here from the Castle here in Anoka. A great facility. And of course, Anoka here looking to extend their 4-game winning streak over the Huskies here this afternoon. They had a chance to cut into even more of that 4-1 deficit, if not for the nice play by Knutz in the 3rd to end the inning for Anoka. The 0-2 delivery. Just off. As mentioned for Feldman, this is his 2nd appearance of the season.
He's done a really good job throwing strikes and getting ahead early so far on these Husky hitters.
Goes inside to move Kuznia back off the plate. I look and see, hey, nice time. It's funny, a nice afternoon to actually throw. And this one's laced down the right field line. It's down. There's extra bases written all over this. Kuznia gets on top of the ball with that swing and drives it down the right field line. A stand-up double, 2nd hit of the game for Kuznia.
Did a great job of hitting there, just going with the pitch and driving it to right field.
Kuznia now 6 for 9 on the season. Picks up his first
Third baseman,
extra base
Jackson
hit of the
Knudsen.
season for Jamison Kuzniak. Nice job of hitting. He mentioned he went with that pitch.
Kuznia coming off Tommy John surgery last year and was disappointed he only got to play about half a high school season last year because he had a pretty good first half and got injured.
Attempted bunt, popped up there by Knudsen and retired. Nice play by the pitcher to come in and charge by Fulstrom.
Yeah, I think Knudsen wanted that to go down for a hit. I don't think that was a sacrifice called. And just got under it a little bit and popped it up to the pitcher.
Left fielder Hunter Beskey.
Like the idea of trying to beat something out there, and now we'll see Beskey hit.
Beskey looking for that first knock here today. A 4-1 lead, 2 outs. Beskey came into this game hitting 2 for 6. 333, 3 strikeouts. Gets a look at the new pitcher here in Fulstrom. And drives it down the line, just foul. And Fulstrom kind of has that ball come out of his hand just a little bit different sometimes on some of those pitches.
Yeah, even though it's righty-lefty difference, but it's also seems like different angle, different release points from Nedlund to Fulstrom here. And so it's difficult as a hitter to pick up now because you've got to rewire how you're picking up the baseball and trying to hit and where you're watching.
Did you find as a hitter it was different with a left-handed pitcher moving from a left-hander to a right-hander?
I never minded when the left-handed pitcher left.
I'm sure you're a left-handed hitter.
That's exactly right.
1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs, Beskey. At bat for Andover. Inside pitch just nudges him a bit. Beskey, the number 8 hitter, be followed by Wallin, the number 9 hitter for Andover. If he can extend this inning, spins it up high. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
And Fulstrom with first base empty here and the 9-hitter Wallin coming up, it's okay to not give in and give Beskey, his pitch. You still need to make your pitch here, and if you miss, you miss, but don't miss over the plate.
Misses off the plate. What was your pitch? Where did you like it? What was your hot zone, your red zone? Where you were?
I was a typical lefty,
The right
so
fielder Ethan
thigh
Wallin.
high to the knees was I liked it middle in. But I worked really hard to be able to hit any pitch, and that's impossible in baseball, but tried to put myself in a position to be able to hit to all parts of the field and all parts of the zone, and I think that's how you become a better hitter, and these high school hitters are really good at that right now.
The right fielder, Ethan Wallin, steps in, looking for his first knock here this afternoon. Andover put up a crooked number in that first inning, 3-0. Countered with a straight number in that third to make it a 4-0 lead. And Anoka countered back with 1 in the bottom of the fourth. And a good chance for them to even cut into that deficit even more, if not for a web gem by Knudsen at third for Andover to end the inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. Do you think we'll also see Nistler coming in for this next inning?
It's probably 50-50. That was probably a discussion that was had between Coach Keeney, Coach Feigum, Coach Hoppy, Coach Anderson. If they want to give the bullpen a fresh inning to start, that's kind of a thing baseball coaches and managers and the pitchers love, is that fresh inning and not having to come in a traffic jam. So I would imagine Nistler's done, but wouldn't be shocked if he came back out.
You mentioned a lot of coaches. How do I get a chair at that table?
You're going to have to go talk to Coach Anderson or Coach Blanchett there.
3 balls, 1 strike. Here we go. Hitters count. Wallin hits a ground ball to first. The 2-hopper knocked down clean, and stepping on the bag to end the inning there at first base.
Did a great job, was not letting that ball get past him and making sure he got the out there and chesting the ball up and getting the boys back in the dugout and trying to cut into this deficit. And it looks like Nistler is done.
Cam Jensen made that play at first base to end the inning, and it's take a stretch inning here at Castle Field, bottom of the 5th. And what can you tell us about this pitcher coming in here for Andover?
Yeah, he had some experience last year. He's going to do a good job, just like all these Andover pitchers do, of throwing strikes and trusting his catcher, trusting his defense, and just continuing to give his chance a team to win.
Now pitching for the Huskies.
Simpson comes in. This will be his 2nd appearance of the season.
Only a sophomore.
A whip of 2.0 and his lone appearance. Gave up surrendered just the 2 walks, no hits, no runs. So big spot for him to jump in.
Andover's really high on Simpson as a pitcher. He's had some really good summers kind of on the national level at his age level. So they're giving him a shot in a big game and big spot here late in the game to try and advance and get closer to a win for Andover.
I know some of those PBR rankings, certainly a little different than what you saw in the Star and Tribune element, but Andover ranked, I thought I saw number 7 in the PBR rankings. And Andover not mentioned in the top 10 for the Star Tribune. I don't think Coach Anderson minds that at all. Probably nice to kind of stay off that grid for a while.
Yeah, stay off the grid.
The pitcher, Luke Fulstrom.
As a player, you kind of take it as bulletin board material, and it's, you don't think of yourself first, but you think, you're not a top 10 team. They're thinking that whoever put up the rankings got it wrong. So
set now here in the 5th, bottom 5. Fulstrom now on the mound, struck out, got caught looking, punched out in that previous at bat. Missing inside. Watching, I was covering the Champlain Park game earlier this week, and they have a sophomore that it's kind of amazing watching the ball come out of his hand. It's just the difference how clean it comes and the release, the movement, and what have you. So he got his first taste of varsity ball, and that was against Minneapolis Southwest.
Speaking of sophomores pitching, my senior year, there was a sophomore that pitched against us for Anoka by the name of Trent Palmer, who happened to turn out to be a pretty good pitcher. He went to Jacksonville and ended up within the Blue Jays organization and was their minor league pitcher of the year a few years back.
Absolutely. Trent Palmer, I think, what was he, a 2nd or 3rd round pick by the Blue Jays. And yeah, he's certainly had some success. And yeah, you're absolutely right. Anoka with a rich history of baseball as well. You mentioned a couple of them with Reeder at Illinois, and then Haugen blowing up in Kansas this season. Ground ball here, just stays foul. Good at bat here for the lefty Fulstrom. Looking for his pitch and trying to see if he can get through that portfolio.
Yeah, a leadoff runner here for Anoka would be a big, big, big boost for them if they can get that. Kind of gets the circus going on the base paths, and if you can continue to just 90 feet by 90 feet continue this game, that's what Anoka needs to do to claw back in.
3-2, great pitch. Came into back door with an off-speed pitch. Wow, Simpson with some conviction on that ball. And down here in the bottom of the 5th, 1 out.
Doesn't look like a sophomore.
No, had some savvy and some swag on that breaking pitch. Setting up here for Mason Conan. Conan, a 3rd baseman. gets a look here with first offering pitch. This is to the gap. I don't think Yellow's going to be able to come up with that one. A nice lace in the left center gap and a stand-up double for the number 9 hitter. Mason Conan gets it going. That pitch left up a little in that belt action. So a chance here.
As they
shortstop,
flip up the lineup, we'll see if Anoka can do what it takes to at least get one and see if they can get the train going.
Flips the lineup here to the leadoff in Jake Nedved. Nedved a fly out to center field. His last plate appearance, and then struck out in his first plate appearance. Ahead in the count now. 1-0. It's a good chance here for Anoka, and it's just chipping away. I mentioned a game I covered yesterday, Anoka girls softball team was down 6-0 in the first inning versus Robbinsdale Armstrong, and they just kept chipping away, ended up getting the 10-9 win in 10 innings. Breaking ball there. Missed. I thought he was going to give the strike single. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out.
Yeah, those comebacks usually it's not usually one big inning. It's usually a couple small innings, and like you said, chipping away, chipping away.
There's a drive to left field. Not going to catch up with it. That's beyond Besky to the warning track. Scoring is Conan, and back-to-back stand-up doubles. They just took each other's place. An RBI for Nedved, and now a 4-2 deficit, and with just 1 out.
Yeah, they traded places with each other, and now you bring the tying run to the plate, and the game kind of changes now because that guy at the plate's a lot more important than he was the first at bat.
Back-to-back doubles. It is. Nedved barreled up on that double. Squared up nicely. And now here comes Bruner. As mentioned, Bruner was a leading hitter for Anoka last season. Well over 300. Sees a first pitch strike, good location, good spot. Dots the eye on the outside part of the plate. Trying to keep that base runner. Leadoff hitter who's reached on that double, Nedved. Close to second.
In the Andover bullpen, it looks like they have Blake Bauman warming up. He's a lefty. In case Simpson can't work through the trouble.
Inside, Nubber down to first base line. Takes a hop, but off the glove, foul. They'll reset with that 1-2 count. Yeah, you're right. You know, 1 run here really, even that last run kind of changes the complexion of the game.
Yep, if they can push this next run across and get this game to 3-4, then that really puts the pressure on Andover, and it puts them on their heels a little bit.
Looking to keep them close there. Swung on. This one tapped. Foul. Southpaw warming up, as you mentioned, for Andover in that bullpen. They look in. Certainly Anoka, left-handed hitter, heavy with their starters. See if that changes some of the mindset here for head coach Shannon Blansett. Blansett been the head coach since 2014. A hopper to second, 3-hopper down to make that play in time. Good play by Myers. Out so critical there if you're Andover, and also for Anoka, he advanced this runner to third now.
Yep, so now Simpson's got to make sure there's no wild pitch,
catcher,
no ball in
Logan
the dirt.
Jigger.
And it helps out the hitter a little bit because you can kind of eliminate those pitches that are going to try and be a little bit too nasty, and Simpson's got to make sure he stays in the zone here.
Hey, and Jaeger, last inning, really got things going with 2 outs to hit by pitch. And then that moved it around and scored the run and kind of broke that goose egg. It's amazing just how things shift. If you just change that number, we talked about it earlier, and now a chance for them to put up their first crooked number, the Tornadoes here in the second, or excuse me, in the bottom of the fifth.
Yeah, base run. You can get a base runner. It changes how the pitcher feels, and it changes the game, and that's exactly what we saw.
We are also trying to get some Anoka representative up here as well, but Pete Hayes is on the bench coaching. And then Tim Anderson was all in on it until he remembered he had a debate match, I believe, or meet that he needed. He's the coach of that team out in Princeton. Good spice, some get up and go on that fastball. That was probably one of his best pitch here, other than the punch out on the curveball.
Yeah, it was a really good pitch to get back into this count, and now we kind of got the full arsenal of what you want to do here.
Jager, the number 3 hitter, swung on and missed. Critical. Left that runner at third. A sweeping breaking ball and a swing that could not catch up with it. And Logan Jager sent down on a strikeout as we end the bottom of the fifth. However, Anoka puts up another run at 4-2.
Yeah, they're clawing back into it, and that's kind of exactly what I said Anoka baseball does. Is they're never dead, and they always fight. They're gritty, and they will claw back into any game that you allow them to. So we'll see if Andover can try and get those runs back, but Anoka's doing a really good job of hanging in there. And that's a really big advantage when you're the home team.
6th inning it is here. And hey, what was one of the best moments you remember from baseball? Was there a walk-off game winner?
Man, there was a home run I hit in a playoff game last year. That was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool moment. First home run was also pretty cool because I never hit a home run until I was 20 or 21, even through high school or anything like that. Never hit a home run. Probably too many to think of, but yeah, those home runs, they stick with you forever. I mean, it's something you never forget. And even talking with other hitters and stuff like that, they say the same thing. It's like it's the best feeling in the world when you hit the sweet spot and you don't even feel it, and jogging around the bases, and it's pretty fun.
Of course, Joe Ruhland with Sam Plohas as the Huskies trying to break a 4-game losing streak to the Tornadoes in this battle on Bunker Boulevard. Of course, Sam, you're part of the Andover Aces team, but in this community, this is the home also for the Anoka Bucks. You've got the Low Gators as well. Some great town team ball as well right in this area.
Yeah, lots of good competition, lots of college baseball players, former and current, and even some former pro players. A lot of really good baseball at that next level after high school and kind of during college and after college that you get to play. And Anoka does a great job here at Castle hosting, and they'll actually be hosting a Fox 9 Town Ball Tour game on July 2nd.
And they're playing the Aces during that game.
Yeah, that'll be our second game on the Fox 9 Town Ball Tour. We played Hamel a couple years ago.
So that's a must-see TV.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. They do a really good job. There's ice cream. There's food trucks everywhere. Kids are running for foul balls. It's a pretty fun time.
Of course, J.D. Wells, manager and player for the Anoka Bucks. Stopped in his dad's store the other day. Go Green Sports. For some reason, the security cameras went high alert when I walked in. I'm not sure what was going on with that, but a great spot, great store, and they have going. And then, of course, another manager, Matt Merrick. If Matt has joined us for this call, certainly invited those two also to join us and view this stream here from the castle. Setting up here, top of the order, and to try to get things going is Law. Law, a single his last time up. And got thrown out trying to advance on a loose ball. It wasn't a pass ball.
No, he had a good read, ball in the dirt. You go, but ball didn't go far enough away, and the catcher made it a phenomenal throw. It was a great throw by Jager.
1 for 3 on the afternoon for Law. Laces this one. It's going to find a home.
That's a good piece of hitting there. He kept the hands back and kind of just flicked the wrists and let the bat do the rest of the work. That's a great piece of hitting, and that's how you put up the numbers that Drew Law puts up.
Center fielder Danny Scheller.
Yeah, he's had quite a career, as his brother Kyle at Andover, and picks up his 5th hit of the season. Does Drew Law, now 5 of 8 on the season. Brings up Scheller, the number 2 hitter. Throwback to try to keep Law close. 2 stolen bases for Law this season. Danny Scheller came into this game hitting .750. Walked his first at bat. Got called out looking at a 3rd strike in the 2nd. And then walked again.
Yeah, he's been an on-base machine for Andover, and it's a weapon to have in your lineup.
And you know what? Frustration forces bad swings and bad looks, and sometimes you just want to hit the ball and probably not walk, but he stays poised in that box and waits for that pitch. And rarely do you see him take a bad swing.
Yeah, especially early in the season. You just want to go up there and do damage, and you're excited to play, and he's done a great job this year of being patient.
Swung on and missed that time. It took a lot off of that pitch. Did Fulstrom as into his 2nd inning. Here's the delivery, another breaking pitch. Good pitch to steal on him, making it safely as Law. That breaking ball looked like it took forever to get to the catcher.
Yeah, he chose the right pitch to go on, got a good jump, and beat the throw. Jager never really stood a chance there, getting Law, nabbing Law at 2nd, and now Andover has a guy in scoring position trying to get at least 1 run back here and extend the lead for the bullpen.
2-run lead for Andover here in the 6th. Runner on 2nd, that's Law, the leadoff hitter. And that pitch misses up high.
Anoka working really hard trying to keep Law close to 2nd so he cannot score on a hit.
A look inside here and moving a little bit more, faking, trying to again hold him close. Ground ball hit the short. Short has it to play over to 1 in time. Scheller is retired on the ground out, but it is Law who advances to 3rd.
Yep, he simplifies it
Second
back here for Myers now.
Myers.
Myers, instead of needing a hit to get that guy in at 3rd, all he needs to do is get the ball to the outfield, and he brings the infield in. It increases your chance to get a hit with the infield in. They have less time to react, less space to cover, and like I said, it simplifies his at-bat. His approach is now just get him in from 3rd instead of trying to get a hit.
Infield is in the first inning. It was a fly out to left field, and then it was Myers who scalded a triple to the gap. Mentioned infield in, 1-0 count. At 3rd is Law. He took more than a little off of that pitch.
Yeah, he wants to make sure he does not fall behind here.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Here's the delivery now. A chance for Myers for an RBI. Myers staying poised. A look here, and this delivery is way out. Pass ball, chance for Law. He's going to try to score, and he will. Standing up, pass ball. That pitch was way off the mark. That catcher, hey, Jager that time tried to do what he could.
Yeah, nothing crazy hit
And
hard
extended.
this inning, but that shows you Law, just good piece of hitting and finding some grass in the outfield and then stealing 2nd, getting moved over and advancing to home on the wild pitch. Just that small ball from Andover there creates a run.
Manufactures the run, does Law. That moves the number. Walking the ladder over the tip of the glove. It's short. A lace that time by Myers. Gets his second knock of the game and tries to reinvigorate a little mojo again to see if they can get another run.
Hitter Brett Bittner.
For Bittner. Bittner a fly out his last time up and 2 hits prior to that. 2 singles in the first and the third. Gets his hands under that swing, pops it up to first. Easily there, corrals it in foul territory.
We'll see now with 2 outs if Myers takes off for second and tries to get into scoring position. Manufacture more.
The shortstop, Keaton Coe.
You got it, Jensen. Bauer making that play at first, and now mention it here's a look for Coe. Looking across the field here in the delivery.
He wanted to go. I don't think he got the jump he wanted and put the brakes on real quick.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I would always say, hey, just go. You get a chance, or just, even if you're not going, act like you're going because you can get in that pitcher's head.
And the catchers, too. Sometimes they're not selling the strike as much, and they're not framing it as well, and they're a little bit more giddy behind the plate. Helps get you as a hitter, too. You'll be in a better fastball count if they think they have a guy that's going to steal. They don't want to throw anything off speed.
Myers gets another step. Inside out, he's thought one of the best moves for a pitcher sometimes, too, is just holding that ball for an extra second.
And that's what he did there. Yeah, he did a really good job. Anoka does a really good job of holding on. They make you feel very uncomfortable on the base paths, and that, they always feel like when a play is on, you don't know, and when there is no play on, you think a play is on.
Hard ground ball to second, corralled and in time to get Coe. And Andover retired in the top half of the 6th, but not before they changed the number from a 4 to a 5 and have that 3-run lead as we head to the bottom of the 6th. And coming back out for another inning of pitching here is Simpson. Good show, good crowd out here tonight. 5-2 lead for Andover, as I mentioned, coming into tonight. It was a 4-game win streak for the Tornadoes in this rivalry.
And this, it's always a big game between Andover and Anoka, but these two teams can face each other later on in the season as they are in the same section, and those ones are always fun as well. Seems like the stakes always get higher and higher.
And these are some of those moments, those times when you're developing pitchers as well. Starts to get maybe a little bit more confidence, and especially with Simpson as a sophomore, you just need some of those successes to kind of build on them for the remainder of the season, and that confidence really kind of elevates.
Yeah, big game, big crowd, to be able to go out and pitch in front of that. Once you can do that, and you tell yourself you can do anything then, and from there on out, and got a big punch out last inning, and we'll see what he does this inning. Anoka needing 3 runs. They got 6 outs left to play with.
Chase Bauer steps in. The big fella
for the Tornadoes at the bottom of the 6th inning. First baseman Chase Bauer.
We'll see what Bauer can get going here on a sunny afternoon. A good Friday to take you into the weekend. And boy, he has been chasing that particular pitch from both pitchers. Say that off-speed pitch, low and outside.
Yeah, and it looks like Law behind the plate has picked up on that, and he's going to that when he needs to.
Short arm pitch that time by Simpson, misses outside. Law also plays right field. Does an excellent job. scoping that field as well when he's not behind the dish. Pitch inside, another breaking pitch. Now let's see if they come back outside part of the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Bauer. This is laced to center field. Shelley gets a read, backs up, and has the out. Corrals it for the first out here, bottom of the 6th. And that'll bring up Lincoln Reeder.
Center fielder.
Yeah, nice
Lincoln
luxury to
Reeder.
have for Andover. Scheller can just fly out there, and you don't have to worry too much when the ball's in the air in the outfield.
Anoka, as I mentioned, 2-1 on the season. A loss to Totino Grace, 5-2 to start the season. Then a 14-5 wallop over Elk River. Swinging the straight back. And then a win over Robbinsdale Armstrong. After tonight's game versus Andover, they'll travel to Spring Lake Park on the 15th. And then at Blaine on the 17th.
Spring Lake Park had an early season win against Maple Grove. They've got a really good pitcher that went complete game against Maple Grove. So that might be no easy task either.
Last year, pitch misses there. Their ace at Spring Lake Park is at Texas A&M this year, isn't he?
Yeah. So he's 2 years ago. Last year he was on that college. They went to the College World Series, and he was on that team. And yeah, he's back this year with them too with the Aggies. Ooh.
Well, as Bill Leacho, he says, Joe, you just can't quite keep up with the class. So I was a year behind on that. But yeah, you're some good baseball coming out of Spring Lake Park. Swung on, missed, an active and explosive breaking pitch that time. And I'll tell you, Simpson has had an impressive outing thus far.
Yeah, he's done a great job.
Luke Duchesne.
You can see why the Andover coaching staff loves him and his future for the program.
Got him for 4 strikeouts already here in the second inning. Or second inning of pitching. Stepping in is Duchesne. Duchesne will see what he can do to change things up. Get a little momentum flow back with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inside. He's hit.
Well, anyway on for Anoka, and that's one way to get on. You'll take that. You need as many base runners as you can get. We'll see if they can continue a 2-out rally here.
Second baseman Cam Jensen.
Cam Jensen now steps in for Andover. Meanwhile, after tonight, they will travel to Champlin Park. I get a chance to call that game. I believe it's Steve Thompson on Tuesday. Swung on. Here's Cam. Gets beyond the dive of Myers at second base. A knock there, and now it's the Tornadoes looking to cut into this deficit, which is a 3-run deficit, and back-to-back base runners and the knock there. Luke Falstrom now will give it a run.
Yeah, it's always more difficult to pitch with guys on base, and that's why earning your way on with a hit by pitch, even with 2 outs, is a big deal, and now they have a chance to just keep clawing back.
Falstrom looking for that first hit of the season. A good pitch there right on the outside part of the plate. Chalked it. Dotted the eye on the outside corner. Oh, 1 delivery. Lifted to center field. Moving back, continuing to move back, but Scheller is there to corral it, and he tracks the ball so well.
He plays a very shallow center field, and he still has time to get back on those balls. He's so fast and gets such great reads out there. We'll tip our cap to Coach Kyle Hoppy, the outfield coach for Andover, on that.
There it is, and Kyle getting some college time playing at Augsburg High School there. As we now go to the 7th, that was the 3rd out, and a swing by Fultrum. We'll see if he takes the mound, toes the rubber here for this, the 7th inning. A chance to move this along and see what Andover here can do to extend their lead. And at this point, would you think Simpson would stay in the game, or do you think they go close it up? It's a
Well, Simpson threw yesterday, so I wouldn't be surprised if they shut him down for the day and say, Bauman, it's your game. It looks like Bauman is warming up a little bit in the bullpen. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do go with the lefty and Bauman. He also threw yesterday too, but he didn't have that high of a pitch count at all, so it should be no problem for him to get hot today and feel good today.
Kuznia will lead it off for Andover.
Kuznia, his older brother, another Andover grad that played on the first ever state appearance team for Andover, Anthony, in 2021.
Certainly, Anthony had a little edge when he played.
Oh yeah. He still plays. He's at Bethany Lutheran and plays for the Andover Aces in the summer. And yeah, he's one of those guys that you've never seen him dog anything. He is full go, full throttle, every single pitch, very intense, but that's what you like as a player. That's what you like as a coach. And yeah, he's a great ball player, great teammate too. And a lot of younger brothers from previous Andover teams on this team. And even on the Anoka side, we saw Nedlin, who his older brother was pitching last year for him, and Reeder in center field, his older brother.
Mm-hmm. I am trying to think of the lefty that's had a lot of success who's post-high school for Anoka.
Cully,
Nathan
yes. Cully at Mankato. Yeah, he's having a really, really good year for them in his final season for the Mustangs, or Mavericks.
Swung on and missed. Kuznia on that pitch. This one misses up high and away. Hey, appreciate all the viewers and joining us for this fantastic stream. A couple of different shots, angles, and there's a two-hopper to third, cross the field, lights it up and makes the play. Good job. Clean play that time defensively by Mason Conan. And Kuznia is retired for the first out here in the seventh.
The third baseman, Jackson.
You get that first out, and you got to try and get the Tornadoes back in the dugout, only down 3. Every run that you can keep it closer is a big deal. High school baseball, you never know. Weird things happen.
Knudsen, last time up, tried to bunt his way on and popped out to the pitcher. Called for that strike. Fulstrom. This one right up the middle. That was an angry swing. Almost tried to avenge that pop out of the bunt back to the pitcher in the previous time.
Yeah, you hit it hard up the middle enough times, you're going to get your hits.
Yeah, it looks like a little Dancing with the Stars, a base knock up the middle.
Left fielder, Hunter Beskey.
And now the work here for Beskey. Knudsen had doubled. Knocked in a couple of RBIs in his first plate appearance for Andover in that first inning. His second hit of the game. And Beskey up high and tight. A 5-2 lead for Andover. They start their next two games also. Coming off this challenging game with Anoka, a loss last night to Totino Grace. Then they play Champlin Park next week, followed by Maple Grove. Maple Grove in their final season in the Northwest Suburban Conference.
Moving to the lakes.
Time to go to the lake. Move on here, 1 ball, 1 strike, and waiting, holding, delivering up high. I'll look back here, and turns out to be a splendid afternoon at Castle Field. Runner is going, couldn't grip the ball, a little out of that strike zone. Jager that time, unable to control, and on to second will go
I'm sure the Huskies are trying to battle. They'll take any runs they can get here and extend that lead against a really gritty Anoka team. You can never be up by too much.
It was Knutson advances this. A fly ball fouled back. Looking to see if they're mixing up anything in that batting lineup. But no, on the on-deck circle is Ethan Wallin. Key component here, and it's always a ready, fire, aim start most of the time for Minnesota in baseball, high school baseball. Start, you stall, the weather puts you back, and then before you know it, you got 30 days left in the season and about 20 games to play.
Yeah, you can have some weeks with 4 games and some weeks with none.
It's like a Pixie Sticks in Mountain Dew rush. Come on, we've all had that. All right, so a walk worked there.
We'll see if Coach Anderson puts a
Right-fielder
punt on
Ethan
here.
Wallin.
Wallin with good enough speed, handles the bat well, and Drew Law coming up next would put 2 runners in scoring position for Andover. Third baseman back. I wouldn't mind seeing Wallin do it. First baseman creeping in, expecting it.
Yeah, third is way back. Way back here. A steal. Wow, what an explosive move. A stolen base.
That's another way to move.
Knutson shows some get up and go, some RPMs, and here's another look at that steal. Hey, it's all about kind of habits and tells. You could tell that Wahlstrom was not looking back with him after that first look, and he got the jump. So without the sacrifice, it's runners at second and third. Wallin, a chance for some RBIs. Lifted to short. Nedved has that. But nonetheless, you talked, hey, if he bunts, he gets a chance to get Law to have runners on second and third. So 2 out here in the 7th. Top half of the 7th. And Law
Drew Law
gets another plate appearance, his 5th of the game. 3 of 4 for on base percentage, 2 for 4 with 2 hits. As
Scheller having such a great start to the season behind Law, you're not in a rush to walk Law or pitch around Law.
There you got it. And then you got Myers behind Scheller, and then Bittner as well. 5-2. This is a knock, a fly ball lifted. Who's got the call? Second has it. Continues. It's gloved. And Andover is retired here in the 7th. Left 2 runners on, second and third. Good effort. That time by the bottom of the order. Knutson hustles his way on. Gets the walk, steals a base.
It looks like Simpson's going to get the 7th here for Andover.
Simpson the 7th.
It's pitched well enough to earn it.
Bottom half here. Let's see if there's any pinch hitters coming up for the Anoka Tornadoes as they try to change things up. Head coach Shannon Blansett.
And if you're in the Anoka dugout right now, you're just telling everyone, anyway on, guys. Hey, anyway on. You're not moving out of a hit by pitch. You know, even if it's a reach on air, you're doing whatever it takes to get traffic on the bases and putting pressure on the Huskies.
Rolling here as we get ready to, like everyone else, in place. As we come to the bottom of the 7th, and it looks as though they're staying with that lineup. And I would actually with Hunter Bruner.
Yeah, he had a really good at bat last time out.
Bruner coming in. This game was just 1 for 9. Hitting 111. Well, they certainly changed that number here as we head now to that.
leading off for Anoka in the bottom of the 7th inning, the third baseman, Mason Conan.
Conan is who was. I looked across Conan. at third here, and we get a look. He can lead it on. First pitch a strike, and good pitch again. It's almost
as a pitcher,
duplication.
Absolutely no walks in this situation, and he's attacking early. Sometimes coaches will tell the hitters, you have to take a pitch, you have to get a called strike before you can swing, and try and put pressure on the defense and put pressure on the pitcher to throw strikes. We'll see how Anoka handles this inning.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Ground ball, chop, swinging. Good play at first to dig it out. Got that glove dirty. A little scoop.
Good
Pick
play
it up
all around from Andover at the corners there.
There you get a look at the replay. The play there by Knutson.
The shortstop
Comes
Jake
off,
Nedved.
explodes, leaves the air, gets the throw into dirt. And pulled up at first by Kuznia. Flashing the leather at first for Kuznia. And 1 out here for Anoka. In the bottom of the 7th as they trail by 3. Flipping that lineup now to Jake Nedved. Nedved a double his last time up. Takes the first pitch. Great spots, I gotta say. Simpson is hitting those spots on that outside part of the plate. As a hitter, you don't want to swing because you're thinking that's got to be a ball, or I'm not going to get able to barrel up on it.
Yeah, not able to get the big part of the bat to it. It's challenging when they are just nailing that outside corner on you. That's not much you can do. Sometimes you just got to tip your cap. Now down 2 strikes, you got to try and just put the bat to the ball in any way.
Check the swing.
Yep, really good take.
They did. They double check with field umpire. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Leadoff hitter Nedved got to try to be a spark here and get a little mojo going late here in the 7th. Walking the ladder, he didn't chase as well. Some good self-management on this at bat by Nedved. Good breaking pitch, opens the door and shuts it.
Yeah, he froze him.
A little frozen pizza breaking pitch that time to Nedved from Simpson.
Fielder Hunter Bruner.
And Nedved thought it was inside and low, it looked like, but
Punched out second time he has struck out in this contest. Leads us to Hunter Bruner. Bruner with 2 outs. Andover with a chance here to snap a 4-game losing streak against Anoka. On this, the battle on Bunker Boulevard. As we set here, thanks again for all the viewers joining us. Great to bring you this game. And you can be part of those next streams as well. To be moved forward, 2 balls, 1 strikes, 2 outs. And a 5-2 lead for Andover. Have played a solid game. Gotten that first inning lead and have never relinquished that lead.
for Simpson here, absolutely no walks. If he gets a hit, that's fine. But you don't want to walk and give up that free 90. See if he comes in with a fastball for a strike here.
Uses it. This one's driven to right field. Dive. I think they call it a catch. It is a catch. A web gem to end the game. Extending in a hard dive.
Really hard play for an outfielder when it's a line, sinking line drive right at you.
The only thing missing on that diving catch was a cape, as Wallin is like a superhero and makes that dive on the catch in front of him to end the game, and that's kind of the signature of the game here this afternoon as the Andover Huskies take home a 5-2 win and now move to 2-1 on the season and pick up and break that 4-game losing streak versus Anoka. Anoka moves to 2-2 on the season. And any last thoughts here, Sam Plohas?
Yeah, really good game between both teams, and I would not be surprised if they play each other in sections, and if that section game is to go to state.
This is the battle on Bunker Boulevard. We're great and excited to bring you this stream this afternoon from Castlefield. Joe Ruhland along with Sam Blowhouse. And this momentum in a moment experience here coming your way on the stream. We'll look forward to seeing you more. And the Huskies take home an impressive 5-2 win over a tough Anoka Tornado squad. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joe Ruhland along with Sam Blowhouse. Have yourself a major league evening at a minor league price.